cost of $5,000 for the process, because they were estimating it at $1,000.
Yeah.
And I know that, I don't know if it will be any more or less, but if we put a limit
You have to
on
pay
it,
for the maintenance, and I think there's licenses of those people that
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah.
That's an annual.
That's an annual thing, so that if perhaps we could do something like that. Representative Babson and McCarthy and
I'll make
McConkie.
that amendment.
Okay, not to exceed 5,000, is that okay with you, Representative? And that's 5,000 a year? Okay, is that all right with you, Representative Schmidt? You made the second?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. Representative Babson?
Thank you. Madam Chairman, on the second page, under E, the last line, the AOC will pay these costs for the first 12 months following installation. The county will bear these costs thereafter, and that's referring to license, support, and maintenance.
Yeah.
On the first page, under what AOC shall, and the responsibility of the parties under the agreement, Part C only says maintenance. I'd like to see the words support and licensing for the equipment for 12 months following installation added to that, so there's no question. Under E, they say it's their responsibility for license, support, and maintenance. Under C, on the first page, they only mention maintenance.
And I would have to say that that would be something that I think the commissioners would have to talk to the Supreme Court about. I'm not sure that, we could say we would like the commissioners to consider putting that in and changing that memorandum of understanding with the Supreme Court so that it is, they're paying for the license support at the first 12 months.
Well, I'm not afraid of the Supreme Court, and I'd like to see it put in there.
No, I know, but
it's
we can say...
ambiguous. It says in one place they only are responsible for one thing, and in the other page it says they're responsible for three.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Costs money.
I understand that, Representative Babson, but I don't think that we can, our vote here isn't going to change the Supreme Court. It would be whether
I'm not making an amendment, I'm just asking
that the commissioners add...
consider putting or adding those licensing and support along with maintenance to make it the same in both paragraphs.
And if the Supreme Court agrees with that, then we can have a motion that we would adopt it. If they don't want to do the licensing and the support for the first 3 years, then just say no. Representative Merrill. Representative Merrill.
Don't say no.
If we're authorizing $5,000, what do we care what they use?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Representative McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I go along with what Representative Pettengill said. There are 3 counties that are already employing this system. It seems to me it would be a simple matter for the commissioners to contact one or all 3 of those counties and get at least a ballpark figure on what the maintenance and support costs are for the system. And we'll go from there.
Okay.
Anybody got any idea what counties there are?
No, I don't.
No. Representative Fleck and Fleck,
Just,
Aldrin and
Yes, I
McConkie.
believe Hillsborough is.
just a couple of comments. I do favor this as a way to go for the future, but I also understand some of the concerns. It does seem to me that we have 3 counties out there apparently operating. We can get some information from them. We also know that as far as potential savings for this county, we should have enough information about the number of times our deputies have to take prisoners to another court. We could still want to go with this. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, let's not say it's great. When we have some information that we might like to have, let's get that information. It's still a great idea, I think. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay. Representative Aldrin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess what it doesn't mention in this memorandum of understanding is that we would have to supply a place for the prisoner to be? You know, do we have a room in the jail that's already
think it's
built?
already
and would,
planned,
you know, so
yeah.
we wouldn't need any construction or any other of those types of things going on at the jail?
As far as I know, as I remember when that jail was built, there was a room and it was wired.
Okay, great. And I just haven't heard too much from the commissioners about, I mean, it seems to be the direction we should go, or at least to investigate for minimal cost. And, you know, have the commissioners looked into this? I mean, but, you know, what?
Tell you the truth, this letter came in after our last week's meeting.
Oh, okay,
When
all
I
right.
received it, so.
So you haven't had a whole lot of
looked into it,
chance.
but because you're meeting today, I thought I'd bring it up and make you aware of it.
Okay.
Representative McConkey.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I agree. I agreed with the program that was brought before our committee. I agree with the enthusiasm of Representative Bunberger, and I'm hearing the caution being displayed by others, and I agree with that also. Supreme Court never moves fast, and I'm sure we have a little bit of time for the commissioners to investigate this properly. But there's also another advantage of this that we haven't talked about. It's not only transportation. Every now and then they have a guest that's rather unruly at the jail, and it doesn't make sense to transport that person even if it's a quarter mile. We can keep them in their PJs over here and put them on TV and away they go. So I heard from other sheriffs, other places, that even when the proximity is close, it's much better, it's more cost efficient to actually have this handled in the corrections than bringing them over here and having to put them in a separate room, add more deputies and everything else to watch that individual. So with checking into the apprehension the other representatives have, I support moving forward with the motion.
Okay, Representative Schmidt.
I agree with a lot of what I heard. It seems to me that this is really a no-brainer. The state has come up with a system that will, A, be more efficient, deals with the question of unruly prisoners, deals with the question of saving some money on transport, and when you get into winter in New Hampshire, that's an issue. On the financial side, it also seems to me that at best, we're talking a couple grand a year, which on a $25 million county budget works out to decimal point 00. I don't know how many zeros we would get out there, but it would be a lot of zeros. I would really like to see us push this today, give the commissioners the ability to sign this document, and let's go forward. There's no money here, folks. Come on.
And if we say not to exceed.
You know,
Yeah, but I think that if we not to exceed it, and again, the Supreme Court doesn't go very quickly, and if the commissioners find out that it turns out to be a horrible deal, I'm sure that we won't have video conferencing. Though I think video conferencing is a wave of the future, and we're looking to do that. So we have a motion to support entering in with the MOU and the Supreme Court and House of Correction for video conferencing not to exceed $5,000 a year. Representative Pettengill.
Thank you. My one other question that I had was, are we using all the current staff with this system, or is there somebody new that's hired?
I doubt there would be a new hire.
Is the existing staff going to be the certified person?
Was the training mentioned in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. So we could train our own people. I think they could train our people.
Okay. That was just one of my other concerns, because that would definitely change the financial figure. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So you
Don't
will.
get me wrong, I'm very, very for this.
Okay.
program.
So any further
Yeah,
questions on that
training,
you want to get?
That's just a spare item. It's gonna throw it out.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
Okay. All those in favor of doing it not to exceed $5,000 a year, say, raise your hand. Okay, that's a unanimous. What is there, 11 of us? Yeah, 11 to 0. Okay, that's an aye. All right.
Okay, Madam Chairman, moving on. Second item, we've had a preliminary talk with Cooperative Extension and Bonnet, Page and Stone regarding the old nursing home. Cooperative Extension has agreed with pretty much the layout with some minor construction. We don't know what that cost is, but what we do know is that it would increase the square footage to around 4,500 square foot, where they require 3,000 square feet. And it's because we're not tearing down walls that are in hallways, so the hallways add up square footage. We'll have better figures on that, but I just wanted to update you on that portion of it.
So that was, they were going to go with the 3,000, but with not having to
Not
spend
costing,
not having to tear down a lot, we're gonna go, what, to 4,500 square
Right.
feet? Something, in the vicinity of.
and we're still measuring up, and we'll still come up with a cost of whatever it takes
Okay.
to
Does
rehab
anybody
that
have
section.
questions on that? Representative McConkey, do you have a thought on that?
I applaud them for trying to use what we have. Seems, if I just look at the numbers real quick, that we have $1,100 worth of walls, that we have 1,100 square feet of walls, but interested in seeing how the proposal comes back.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. Thank you, and I asked you because I know you were concerned with it, but if we don't have to spend as much money but still have wide corridors.
It's a
wide
give and
corridors is
take, I
okay.
guess, you know?
Yeah. Okay?
Okay, third item is, you've probably read in the paper as a result of our commissioners' meeting where we reported that Health and Human Services has expanded their district. They're trying to regionalize, and their district would cover Rochester all the way up through Jackson. In doing that, they want to move, what? And Laconia, right, part of Laconia. In doing that, they want to change their office, and they're looking for an office either in Tamworth or Ossipee. Follow up with them on that. Commissioner Solomon found that they need 10,000 square feet, and they will be housing 45 employees, not necessarily all full-time. There'll be some part-time there. I don't know what that breakdown is. Their RFP will be going out for that facility shortly, and they expect to move in next spring. That's all I can report on that. So there is a possibility, and they know we have an old nursing home that could be rehabbed, so that is still yet to be looked at.
Does anybody have any thoughts about that we don't even want to consider this?
Yeah.
Representative McConkey?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. First off, when I had the pleasure of viewing this on the internet, I made a call to Gene Chandler, who, as you know, on Mondays is not able to be here because of a work schedule. And not knowing at the point that Commissioner had started looking into this, I asked Mr. Chandler, Representative Chandler, to call the Commissioner, asked the Commissioner if he was aware of this action. He said that he wasn't, but he had followed up with Deputy Commissioner Mary Ann Cooney and asked her where the plans for this were, and responded that that this was in the plan to consolidate, that the RFP would be going out in October, that they were hoping to have that back by January. They're hoping to move so quick that these people would actually be in the facility by that time. And also, another piece that Representative Chandler gleaned out of this, that these contracts are usually for a 4-year period and then extended after 4 years where they relocate. Very rarely is a contract signed for 5 years or more. So I'm cautious to even open this conversation again. Number one, it appears they're going to move quickly on relocating these people. Two, that we would be doing a potential rehab for a facility of 10,000 square feet, which we still, what I see here, we still have room in our main core. I certainly wouldn't even consider moving out to the wings. And lastly, we'd be making, the good people, this county would be making an investment that we typically amortize over a 15 to 20 year period for a contract that we only have security in for no more than 4-year term. Harken this back to something locally. I remember back in '87 when the Carroll County Independent was housed in Center Ossipee, You could walk in the door and all the papers